Listen up, because the situation between Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson didn't just end, it detonated. I'm skipping the formalities because the way this collapse just unfolded is a far cry from your average Hollywood split. This wasn't a mutual parting, it was a tactical strike. It's as if Megan Thee Stallion took a permanent marker and drew an immovable line in the dirt. We all know her frequency. When she exits a situation, she doesn't tiptoe out the side exit. She leaves the lights on and tells you exactly who failed the inspection. And this time, the why behind her departure from Klay Thompson has the entire industry spiraling. Let's dissect the subtext. On the surface, it looks like just another celebrity fallout, but if you actually analyze the vocabulary being used, this isn't about drifting apart. This is a definitive lesson in boundaries and shattered expectations. In all honesty, we are witnessing a masterclass in what happens when a curated public romance disintegrates behind the curtain. Here is the cold reality. Megan Thee Stallion has officially verified that the chapter with Klay Thompson is closed. But the vibration of that confirmation? That is where the real truth is buried. According to the data released via her representatives to TMZ, she left 0% of doubt. She essentially declared that loyalty, integrity, and honor are her absolute requirements, and once those pillars are compromised, the bridge is burned. Stop and process that. That isn't the usual PR manufactured, we're going in different directions garbage. That is a targeted, high-velocity message. When you cross-reference that with her Instagram activity, it evolves from a simple breakup into a full-scale forensic deep dive. Megan Thee Stallion didn't just leave the building, she set the record straight. She alluded to infidelity. She exposed the weight of being integrated with his family, the domestic labor of playing house, and the heavy emotional capital she poured into his world. I'm being 100% real with you. I vividly recall her curated menus for Klay Thompson's birthday, and it wasn't just for him. I remember how his entire inner circle was fed by her, including Michael Thompson. The way that family embraced her presence and her efforts makes the current fallout feel even more calculated. Just go back and watch the footage of her in that kitchen.
You say, yeah, I can't have girl coach. And girl, the other day, Klay daddy had came to town because the Mavs was playing the Lakers. I said, Klay, why you didn't tell me your daddy was coming to town? I'm here knocking over stuff. Let me hear if he cook something because how he gonna come to the South and I don't show him no Southern hospitality? So then after that, I was like, what do I got in this kitchen to cook? So I pulled out some chicken thighs. I had some stuff for baked beans. I had some stuff for cornbread. I had a little potato salad. Dang, baby, you gotta go upstream. Anyways, yeah, I had some stuff for chicken thighs. I had some stuff for baked beans. I had some stuff for cornbread. So this is me preparing my things for my baked beans, seasoning my meat real good because, you know, I just want to tell y'all that the Thompsons love my baked beans, okay? Miss Julie love them, Mr. Thompson love them, Klay love them, so I always gotta make it. Shout out to my granny for teaching me how to make this. Okay, so yeah, this me stirring on my baked beans. I seen somebody how he's talking about making drop a cookbook. I think I definitely will do that. Okay, so after this, checking on my baked beans. Mr. Thompson had never had boudin before, y'all, so I had to put him on the boudin. I'm pretty sure he really liked it. You know, he's Bahamian. Bahamians love their good rice and approved. I think he might be Southern now. I don't know. So this is me serving them their plates. Look at that plate. Ain't a green inside. God dang, I need to do better. Next time I'm gonna put some more vegetables on your plate. But this all I had. This all I was working with in an hour, you know? Okay, right here. Look like they feeling it to me.
You can be fat, don't you? David, you need to retire, hop in everything else, just open a cooking school. Just be a chef. That's all you need to do.
And they both cleaned the plate. Bye.
It is the best thing I've ever tasted. My favorite meal. Catfish, spaghetti, and Hawaiian rolls.
She went as far as detailing how she anchored him through those volatile emotional shifts, explicitly highlighting the temperament Klay Thompson displays during the heat of the NBA season. Then, she releases the ultimate detonator. Now he doesn't know if he can be monogamous. That single sentence shifts the entire gravity of the story. The public isn't just processing a breakup anymore, they are analyzing the betrayal behind it. Let's be completely honest. When a woman addresses monogamy with that specific level of conviction, that doesn't suggest a man who is finding himself. That signals a woman who has been blindsided. We have to examine the environment here, too. This wasn't some, are they or aren't they mystery. Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson weren't playing it safe. They went full throttle public. They commanded the red carpets and projected a unified front, especially at that Pete and Thomas Foundation Gala in New York. To the naked eye, it looked deliberate. It looked unbreakable. It lacked the symptoms of a temporary fling. And that is exactly why the impact of this crash is so deafening. When a union appears that bulletproof in the limelight but fractures this violently behind closed doors, you have to wonder, what were the cameras missing? This fallout exposes the exact cycle we witness repeatedly with these power couples. There is always that curated honeymoon phase where the aesthetics are flawless and the energy is magnetic, but we never witness the internal pressure cooker. Consider the figures on the board. You have Megan Thee Stallion, who has engineered a global brand centered on self-worth and zero tolerance for ego. Then you have Klay Thompson, a top-tier athlete navigating the brutal exhaustion of a professional season, the constant travel, and the unrelenting scrutiny. These are two high-stakes existences and two conflicting universes. When they merge, the friction is almost inevitable. Now, I'm not claiming the lifestyle was the sole culprit, but when Megan Thee Stallion specifically identifies those seasonal mood swings, she's giving us a glimpse into the isolation she felt in that house. That is the emotional landscape she's living in. When you layer infidelity accusations on top of that kind of psychological tax, you're looking at a bridge that's been burnt to the ground. What many might be overlooking is how Megan Thee Stallion is flat out refusing to let a PR machine sanitize this. Usually, the industry gives you a polished, lifeless statement that says absolutely nothing. This, however, is visceral. Is it chaotic? 100%. But it's authentic. Regardless of whether you agree with her exposing Klay Thompson's private behavior, she is seizing absolute command of the narrative. She isn't leaving a single crumb for the blogs to chew on. She delivered her truth before the spin doctors could even lace up their shoes. Meanwhile, from Klay Thompson's camp, dead air. No rebuttal, no denial, no context. And that silence is deafening. In this league, staying quiet is either a high road strategy or a desperate hope that the storm blows over because the accusations have teeth. Right now, the digital court is filling in every one of those blanks for him. Keep in mind, we are currently navigating allegations from her perspective, and the full scope of both sides remains a mystery. However, you can feel the raw exhaustion in her words. This doesn't look like a reckless outburst fueled by temporary rage. This feels like the final snap after a long, quiet build-up, the moment she finally collided with a wall and said, "I'm done." That is the specific resonance for her fan base. People recognize the drain of overextending, over-tolerating, and finally being forced to weaponize their own peace. To me, this doesn't feel like a simple collapse. It feels like a boundary being lethally enforced. There was no taking a break or finding ourselves. She prioritized clarity over comfort, and that feels permanent. It's a stark reminder that no amount of wealth, status, or influence can outrun the basics: trust, respect, and consistency. Once those foundations vanish, it doesn't matter what jersey you wear or what empire you've built. I need to know your take on how this was executed. Do you think this was an inevitable crash given the friction of their lifestyles, or is there a much deeper layer we haven't unmasked? And let's talk about the morality of the move. Was Megan Thee Stallion right to put Klay Thompson on blast like this? Drop your theories in the comments. I'll be in there reading. See you later.
Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are no longer together. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I'm never truly surprised. I think that what people do not realize is that it do not matter the type of nigga, right? So we see here, you could be the simp, you can be super attractive, you can be super fine, you could be not pursued, you could be pursued, you could be a high commodity, you could not be, of course. You could, facially be, medium ugly, high ugly, low ugly, you know what I'm saying? But the thing doesn't come down to that. None of that matters. It doesn't matter if you're a simp, it doesn't matter if anything. What it really comes down to is, do you have a sense of self-control? A lot of men lack self-control. Cheating is an issue of self-control, because if you cannot withstand or restrain yourself until the parameters of you having sex with somebody else, is it due to rooted in infidelity, right? Like, if you can't be like, "Hey babes, I'm done with this relationship. I don't want to be with you. I want to end it," right? So you're not committed to anybody, and then you go to have sex with somebody. If you can't do that, like, make sure all boxes are checked off the parameters. The issue is an issue of self-control. That's the same thing for women. The issue is an issue of self-control. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter how they look. Doesn't matter how they come off. The lesson is always, don't idolize relationships and stuff on the internet. I think I was definitely very happy for Megan and Klay. I am definitely kind of disappointed that it's disillusioning, but not at all upset if it's by way of cheating. Like, that's one of those things, and I'm glad that my girl, she's posted it. When celebrities post things, usually it's supposed to be official, like you're not coming back from that, right? So I don't think that Megan is going to be one to go back to him after the cheating. But, made it public and official. F. Klay Thompson, I don't know much about him, and I will continue to not know much about him. I wish him nothing but what he deserves. But it's just dang, my girl has been doing brand deals doing performances on Broadway. How you get cheat on Broadway? Like, damn, nigga. But, yeah, just, if you don't know, now you know, and most people know, but it's just like, damn, it really don't matter who you are. If you don't have self-control, you can cheat. You find a rich boy, cheat.
Klay Thompson, come to the front. Come to the front, man. We're not gonna jump you. We just want to talk because we were literally all rooting for you. Meg Thee Stallion has announced that she and Klay are now broken up because Klay cheated on her. Klay and Meg unofficially started dating last summer when Meg posted a picture by a pool and then Klay Thompson was in the background of that picture and everyone was like, are y'all dating? And then a month later, they actually confirmed their relationship. If you've been following the couple, you know that they seemingly have been quite smitten with each other. He took her to meet his parents. His parents were absolutely obsessed with her. They were extravagant trips, lots of gifts, etc., etc. Meg posted this to her story. I'm actually gonna read all of it just so that you can follow along, but it says, cheating, had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all the horrible mood swings and treatment toward me during the basketball season, and now you don't know if you can be monogamous. Then she goes on to say that she's gonna need a real break after this one. Meg Thee Stallion obviously has been through a lot, from the whole Tory Lane stuff to just a few weeks ago, if you remember, she was hospitalized during her Moulin Rouge Broadway show. She was super dehydrated, just putting a lot of strain on her body, and they told her like, hey sister, you should probably sit down somewhere, and she was like, but first the show. Well, since then, Meg Thee Stallion has released a statement to Complex. I'm gonna read it verbatim. It says, I've made a decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship, and when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with peace and clarity. Our sister is indeed single for this hot girl summer. I am really sad that this had to happen. Klay friend, I don't understand. I don't get it. I fear it's not safe for anybody. It's really not safe for anybody, bro. Meg Thee Stallion, come on.